Eve is a Chicago-based entrepreneur, the founder of the Current Agency, and a lifestyle influencer in the digital space. After years of battling with bulimia, anxiety, and depression, Hannah decided to turn her life around and begin her relentless pursuit of health, happiness, and success. In 2019, the Current Agency was born. The Current Agency specializes in social media management, content creation, branding, graphic design, and influencer marketing. Now, in addition to running the Current Agency, Hannah uses her presence on social media to advocate for body positivity, shine a light on mental health awareness, and encourage women to take the leap both in business and in life. Please welcome Hannah. I was so excited to finally sit down and chat with you. I've been following you for a couple of months now and kind of seeing, what you do in your career, and it's so inspiring, especially for being such a young entrepreneur. There's a lot of different things I want to talk about with you. But first, let's start with the Current Agency, because that's your first baby, correct?
Yeah, totally.
Tell everyone a little bit about that first.
So the Current Agency was totally created by accident. I just started helping businesses with their Instagram accounts when I was in college, without really any larger plan at the time. But I found myself managing the accounts of multiple businesses, and it just naturally I had to name it and really formalize it as a business. And that's when I decided to name it the Current Agency. I graduated college with a full roster of clients, and now here we are a number of years later, and I have employees, and we definitely specialize in running and growing social media accounts for businesses, but our services have also expanded to include web design, influencer campaign management, graphic design, branding, and a lot of different things under the organic, social, and digital umbrella. So here we are.
Fantastic. And you do such a good job on your own. I mean, just following through your TikToks, you've grown your TikTok to be so big. And you give tips and tricks on people how to start up and do this and become entrepreneurs. And that's really what this show and this podcast is all about, inspiring people to kind of step out of their comfort zone and make their own magic happen. And I feel like you're the perfect representation of that. You're such a girl boss, a go-getter, a hustler, and those are the people that I like to surround myself with and learn from as well. And you're so young, which I love. But it's just so inspiring to see. So I guess I want to ask you, what would be your number one, secret to success?
So it's actually such perfect timing. So now a large part of my career, in addition to the work that I do for my clients, this year, out of necessity, I created something called the Level Up course, which is a live course that I teach on Zoom. It's 6 weeks, and I really teach women everything they need to know to become social media managers themselves. And there are also a number of small business owners who take the course as well, and I teach them tools to use social media to grow their businesses. So I had 4 new sections of Level Up begin this week, and I just taught one that ended 15 minutes ago. So this is very fresh in my mind, because in that first week, I really laid the foundation of the main major tools that will ultimately give these women success. Mm-hmm. And I believe that before I go into all of the marketing tools and tactics, the most important thing to understand is that entrepreneurship is a mindset, and that there's no right time to start. I think that so many people miss out on their $1 million opportunities just because they're sitting around waiting for their branding to be perfect, or to feel they've gotten everything perfectly lined up. And for me, so many of my successes happened because I just launched fast and then adjusted later. I think that the most learning and growth happens simply by doing, and that the work that you put out a year from now should be a lot better than the work you put out now. So launching fast and adjusting later. And then confidence, the way you carry yourself in business really determines the doors that will open for you, the way that people will perceive you, and really your mindset and the way you show up in your career and show up in the world, in my opinion, is going to be the greatest determinant of the outcome and your success.
I love that. And my whole thing, I always say, start before you're ready.
Yeah.
nobody, you can't sit on your couch and wait for people to come knocking on your door. You have to make your own things happen in this world. So that's so, so important. I want to ask you, what does success mean to you in business and in life?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's hard because I don't think I'm ever going to be 100% satisfied. Like I think that I'm always going to be wanting to grow and change.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that any amount of money or any, size of my company could ever encourage me to stop growing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, with that said, for me, success means being able to grow and expand while doing things that fulfill me and make me happy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that I would be naive to not say that financial freedom ties into that. So I think it's being able to, make enough money by constantly growing and doing things that make me happy. And then, like I was getting a massage the other day and I couldn't stop thinking about business ideas, right? Like I get so excited to wake up every day and just grow and do new things. And I think that's success
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of respects. That so many people don't feel that way about their jobs or their careers. But I mean, there are certain milestones that I hope to hit, like, people that I hope to meet, and, hopefully there's like a lot more growth. And I don't know exactly what all those things look like, but, and then in life, I think success for me really ties back to balance.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very extreme personality, and like I've been on many different extremes throughout my life. I'm like very open with I struggled with an eating disorder for a long time. So I think being able to find balance is really what I'm looking for. And I know that that's only going to get more difficult as I have a family one day, and, all of those other pieces come into play. But just really finding a balance between, my mental health and business, and doing things for me and spending time with friends and family, and also being able to put a lot of energy into my career.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And I read your whole story about your journey, and it's so wonderful for you to be able to be open and vulnerable with the world. And I mean, I was just talking to somebody the other day about kind of hand in hand, like vulnerability and then the power of connection, like how that connects you with everyone else. And I think that's only going to make things, just take so much stress off of you now that it's out in the open and that you can talk about it and connect with everybody and inspire others. And it's going to be constant. It's always going to be a work in progress. I struggle with anxiety myself, so I get it. And thank you, really.
Of course. I mean, I never really planned to share it so publicly. It was something that very much happened, like kind of on a whim,
Mm-hmm.
but it was so strange and liberating to so explicitly spell out the very thing that I spent so many years keeping a secret, like from everyone. And, it's crazy how everything affects each other. Like by sharing that, I was able to see how incredibly beautiful my life could become by being open and vulnerable. Like it led to so many incredible conversations and connections. And it was almost a similar feeling when I started to get a lot of growth on TikTok. And then I had that same idea. I'm like, okay, so many people are reaching out to me with questions. And I had the initial idea to create a course. And then I almost talked myself out of it because I had this fear thought of, why would I create competition for myself? Like, why would I share all my secrets? That doesn't make any sense. But then I thought back to a couple months prior when I shared my story, and I remembered that simply by being open and vulnerable and sharing my experience, how fulfilled it made me and how right it felt and how many doors it opened. So, thank God I didn't lean into fear, and I I leaned in and I didn't let it win, I guess, because I almost didn't create the Level Up course, which is now such a big part of my life. So this year, really overall, I've learned the power and the beauty of being vulnerable, being open, sharing my experience, and just trying to provide as much value with anyone and everyone as I can.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think it really it's similar to business in the way where it's like, sometimes, especially so many people are struggling right now with mental health, and a lot of people can feel stuck and don't know, how do I make that next move? Like, how do I get out of this funk? Do you have anything that really helped you kind of, get through those tough times?
Yeah, I'm a huge believer in therapy, like the biggest. I think that anyone and everyone could benefit from therapy. I think that, even if you don't necessarily have trauma or you're not going through something, I think that we all hold ourselves back and get in our own way in some way. And like therapy is really just figuring out how you are getting in your own way and then removing those blocks that can lead to so much more success and happiness for you. So therapy. And then really, I mean, I believe that people don't change until the pain of remaining the same is greater than the pain of change. So you really have to decide that enough is enough in whatever aspect of your life you're talking about, and that you want something different or you want something more.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then just really committing to it. Therapy is great, but for many years, I just, I went through the motions, but I wasn't really committing to change. And then I hit rock bottom, and I'm like, this is not the life I want to live. Like, there is so much more out there for me. I wish I heard a quote yesterday that I wish I had heard a number of years ago. I was in Clubhouse, and Les Brown was speaking, and he's this really...
Clubhouse is a whole nother thing we need to talk
about. I don't even understand it. But he said something to the effect of, the definition of hell is meeting the person that you were supposed to become. And and that isn't, so I only heard that quote yesterday, but I think that same thought is kind of what really forced me to change, when I'm just like, if I continue on this path, this is not the life I want to live for myself. And I was doing things that were so not in alignment with who I felt I was at my core and the life that I wanted to live. And a lot of things come into play with that. Like, it's a lot of little things, from getting enough sleep to, journaling and doing all the little things, to surrounding myself with people who give me energy and who make me feel good and supported. So, there's a lot of work and a good therapist, and then listening to what they say.
Yeah. And like, tomorrow's going to happen, a week from now is going to happen, a year from now is going to happen. So it's either you are going to be in that same place or make the decision to make that change for yourself in business or in life. So again, I am beyond inspired by all the, I don't even know you on a personal level, but just seeing, one, what you're doing with your business, two, how you've been so open and vulnerable with your mental health. The sky is the limit with you, really.
Thank you.
Feel so proud of yourself. Really, you should feel so successful and proud of yourself. Okay, so we're going to move along. Actually, before we play the game, I want you to tell everyone where they can sign up for the class if they want to do Level Up, where they can follow you on social. Let everyone know.
Okay, so you can keep up with me on Instagram. I'm on stories like all the time, every day. That's at It's Hannah Eve. So ITSHANNAHEVE. Same handle for TikTok. I'm on TikTok a lot too, sharing a lot of marketing and social tips there.
Everyone
as well
should
as
follow you on TikTok and on Instagram. She gives the best tips. Like, if you want to go into marketing, branding, influencer, all of it, follow Hannah.
Thank you. And I do like day in my lives and other random things. I'm on Clubhouse now also at It's Hannah Eve. We'll see where that goes. And then if you're remotely interested in Level Up, you can DM me. My website is thecurrentagency.co. So thecurrentagency.co. There's all the information there about Level Up. It's also just linked in my Instagram bio. And then the current agency has an Instagram, which is like my new passion project. And that's just at the current agency. And I love that. Go there if you want like inspirational quotes, just really cool graphics, and it's just a fun follow.
Okay, so now we're going to play a game. I do this every episode. It's called Make Waves, aka Spilling the Tea, where you say the first thing that comes to your mind as soon as I ask the question. So it's improv, like no, just first thing that comes to your mind.
I love it. I love games. I'm just like, I hope I don't like say anything like too dirty or like inappropriate. Okay.
You won't, I don't think.
Okay.
Here we go. Greatest single achievement in your career.
I don't want to make it money related. That's the first thing that came to mind. Just inspiring people, honestly. Being able to inspire and empower women. I know that's boring, but truly.
I love that. And I have to say, I did see your TikTok about going to Cartier and getting the bracelet. And I did the exact same thing, I think 2 months ago. I was like, I want to buy this for myself. And when I saw that, I was like, you go, girl. Like, I was like, I don't want anyone else getting this for me. And then I went in on Michigan Avenue and got it too. And I was like, it just felt so freaking rewarding, didn't it?
It did. And like, you know, that was almost my first answer because it has nothing to do with the cost of the bracelet. It's just like, I always envision, like, I always just, like, even with my boyfriend, like, I joke about it as like a unit of currency. I'm like, yeah, like, we can do this. It's just 3 Cartier bracelets. Like, I joke about it.
That's what I say too. But I get it. It's not the bracelet. It's just like the fact that like we did it for ourselves. Like when I look at my wrist, I'm like, that's like my hard work.
Yeah.
So like I totally get it.
Yeah, and like standing there, I wasn't on my phone, and it's just like knowing I have plenty saved and I can afford this, and it was just like, you know, I went to college and so many girls had them, right? And their dads got them for them or, you know, whatever. And it's just knowing, and every single person in the store was a couple. Mm-hmm. And I was there by myself, and it was just like, I did it.
Oh, let me tell you this. They charged me double for the bracelet. When I got home, I saw my bill and I almost died, but they felt so bad. They sent me
another one.
I was like, what? Okay, next one. Favorite item in your closet?
So random and like not even that cool. Well, I recently got a Chanel bag that I'm obsessed with, but in addition to that, I'm obsessed with these redone jeans that I've been wearing a lot lately. They're like 90s, like the brand Redone, and there's like a slit in the knee, and I think they're sick.
So fun. Hidden talent.
I was gonna say that I'm double jointed in my thumbs, but that's not a talent.
Yeah, that is hidden talent. I can't do that.
I guess kind of a hidden talent. I think I'm really good at making people open up to me like a lot, which I think that I'm a very emotional person, and I've always kind of just thought that was like a superpower.
I love that. Best advice someone gave you?
Hands down, something my therapist said to me probably 5 years ago. She said, "You are the thinker, not the thought."
Gosh, you're great. Throwing out these quotes at me that I'm like, woo! Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure. I love the Morning Toast podcast. I love it so much.
We have a lot in common.
Yeah, and like Bravo.
Me too.
And Comments by Celebs podcast, which is amazing.
So I assume you watch Housewives. Mm-hmm. If you're a Bravo girl.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
I think Beverly Hills. Like New York or Beverly Hills. New York for the drama, Beverly Hills because it's just like lifestyle porn, and like it's just like fun to watch.
True. Most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you?
Um, Most embarrassing thing? I don't really get embarrassed a lot. Probably like in college, I sent a screenshot of a text with a guy to him instead of like to my friends. And that was bad. That was
Yeah,
really bad.
that's always awkward.
Yeah.
And then lastly, biggest splash you've ever made in the industry or in life?
Biggest splash I've ever made. Ooh. I think that right now with Level Up, I'm making a pretty big splash. I mean, hundreds of women have taken this, like, it's just crazy. You know, like this week I had 120 new women start, and it's kind of hard to fathom, like being able to, you know, like really speak one-on-one with that many women. And I like to, in this week, especially with Clubhouse, the people that I've been on panels with, and the value that I think I've been able to provide, I feel like I'm making a big splash, which is cool.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining. Everyone, make sure to go follow Hannah on Instagram, TikTok, sign up for Level Up. And you're so wonderful, and we're going to have to hang out.